Oklahoma is known for having more than a few politicians with very colorful pasts. Former Governor David Hall is one of them. Shortly after leaving office in 1975, he was sent to prison. Now he's written a book about his story. In tonight's To The Point, he's telling it to 2 News anchor Russ McCaskey.
Well, with former Governor David Hall, thanks for joining us today.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Hey, you have a fascinating story. Let's begin talking a little bit about your resume. You know, I see on there that you're a former Tulsa County District Attorney, you're a law school professor, Governor of the state of Oklahoma, and then all of a sudden, convicted felon.
Oh, it's horrible. And you know, when you've got a felony conviction, it clouds everything you try to do in business or anything. It was very, very difficult.
How did it happen?
I think that the U.S. Attorney and the John Mitchell administration and the U.S. Office of Attorney General made me a target with 5 other governors, and myself and Marvin Mandel in Maryland were the only 2 that were convicted of the ones they targeted. But it was a disastrous situation. I am innocent of what I was accused, but I wear it as a badge of courage that I got through it, that I'm not bitter about it, and that I'm loving life right now.
You know, once you went to prison, what was that like? Because your world had to be almost turned upside down. Here you are just a few months earlier, you're the top elected official in the state of Oklahoma.
Right, and I had organized for a national run for office. It was devastating. I can't tell you. It was like, well, I'll tell you, when you read the book, you'll see that being able to get through that experience, I considered myself a spirit person. I let my physical body do the time, but I took my spirit away, and my spirit just observed what was going on. Otherwise, I couldn't have done it.
So, time eventually comes, you get out of prison. You've been disbarred here in Oklahoma.
That's correct. I can't practice law.
Yeah, so you have to kind of start over. How do you go about doing that, and how do you put your past behind you?
Just like everybody else who suffered that. I mean, I'm not the only person that's been through this. It's just that I was determined that I was going to forgive the people that had harmed me and get that burden off my back. I was determined that I was not going to lose the joy of life and optimism that I've always had. And that's what carried me through. But it was very difficult.
One of the things I think that people can relate to you about is the fact that the last couple of years we've had this recession. A lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people lost their retirement savings, those kinds of things. And it's almost like starting over, and that's something that you had to do. How were you able to do it?
It was the most difficult thing, but what I remembered was that there is no road that is so long that it doesn't turn. And if you're willing to start at the bottom and work your way along, you can succeed. But you got to remember, I had been in public office 8 years in the DA's office, 4 years as governor. All of those retirement activities were wiped away. All of my savings went into defending myself in the trial. I spent and raised and defended myself, costing over $1.5 million.
Wow.
Just wiped me completely out, and my wife and I both had to go to work in California and resurrect ourselves.
Yeah, but you were able to do so. You had a successful sales career, and you're doing fine.
And you know what? I've got no gripes. I look at this terrible recession we've been in, and all the people losing their homes, and all the people who are qualified college graduates who can't find a job. And I feel like my experience wasn't near that bad.
So you wrote this book, Twisted Justice. What do you hope people get out of it?
I hope they get a realization that you can overcome anything if you're strong enough and purposeful enough to do optimistically what you want to do in life. Second, that you forgive your enemies. And third, and equally as important, that there is no obstacle that you can't overcome.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Good luck to you.
Fascinating story.
Bless your heart.
Thanks.